What's happening, people? We're back here once again on CubCamTV for this, another edition of CubReacts. I'm super excited to be back inside the building once again as we jump into another reaction video for you today. This one brand new from Alkaline. As I said before, a lot of people on this channel are asking for Alkaline reaction videos, so he's dropping music and we're reacting as we see it. So there we go. We're going to get into this one entitled Real Dawgs in just a second. Out to everyone supporting the channel, of course. Make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, turning notifications on, leaving a like and a comment, all of that good stuff, and of course following on Instagram as well at KXVU on social media platforms. You can find me everywhere under that. Now, one thing to remember, there will be a lot of pauses and cuts in this video. That's because YouTube copywriting is ridiculous at the moment. It's really difficult to get videos actually uploaded to begin with. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in those cuts and pauses with as much kind of analytical breakdown info as we can. Going to break down the sound itself, the production, the vocal performance, everything we can. So yeah, let's get into this one right about now. Sounds of Alkaline.
Let me try to show you that. Link it on it.
So we're going quite glittery, I think is a good way to describe it across this intro. Very synthy, very kind of pop influenced, I feel, is a good way to describe this one. Now this is the thing with a lot of the sort of modern dancehall artistry, a lot of it does kind of cross over into synthy pop quite a lot. And Alkaline is someone who's been known to kind of tread that line quite well between the two. So I'm interested to see where this goes musically. I definitely think Alkaline's got the ability to hold it down in both sort of sectors, even in that sort of R&B world as well. So let's see how this one develops. Now this one's quite interesting the way it's been put together, because this is almost like an R&B tune with almost trap-like drums. The production side of things is really bizarre, because obviously those drums are very reminiscent of almost like ATL sort of sounding trappy rollers, whereas the instrumentation, the sort of plucked guitar, the really kind of reverberated sounds that brings melodically, that sounds a lot more R&B influence. So Alkaline has to kind of find this balance between the two places, which so far it's sounding like he's found quite well.
Real Dawgs never sell out. Them chat to people when I get along. A woman who I'm deal with my day one better than now. No when I fire money
I'm definitely hearing that sort of 2002, 2003 through to about 2007 American sort of R&B sound, when auto-tune first became like quite a big thing in that sort of American R&B world. I'm definitely hearing sort of reminiscent vocal patterns and maneuvers on this as well. The way he's kind of sliding up and down, like that's quite like I always feel like I know that melody from that kind of previous era. And to be honest, he's handling himself really, really well. It doesn't sound like he's out of place. It sounds like this is something he's very comfortable doing.
So we know it going, I could never be a trick.
I'll tell you what as well, the transition back into the hook is quite nice. That little section there, the way he kind of drifts around the instrumental, it's not the most kind of out there of instrumentals, you know. It's quite like a simple backing kind of area, and it's pretty much down to Alkaline to provide that transitional kind of spice between the verses and the chorus sections. I think he's handling it quite well, although I don't know, I feel like the instrumental could have a bit more going on with it, you know. It almost feels like this is an instrumental that's kind of built as part of like a beat pack or something like that, and it works for the type of tune it is, but it's not exactly kind of... It's not lighting me up, you know. But also that's probably me on a personal preference kind of thing. Well, this little section on the chorus block is quite cool as well. We are hearing progression with the chorus. That first sort of almost like harmonized bridge section within the chorus, that didn't happen the first time around. So we are hearing the tune progress. We are hearing things being added as we go, which is something, obviously, if you watch this channel regularly, that's something I'm a big fan of. And I like to hear tunes develop as they go. But yeah, overall, it is sounding solid for what it is. I think that's the best way I can describe it, because there are tunes in this sort of realm which I'm not particularly keen on. I think Alkaline is handling it particularly well, but it's the actual sound itself is a little bit cookie cutter for me personally.
Try to turn them against me, youth, them never surely die. Tell them other side, man.
You see, that's what I was waiting for vocally. Him to try something a little bit different. Everything was a little bit safe before this for me, and now he's actually come out and done some sort of flow pattern, some sort of interesting melodic maneuvers. And this sort of section here is what I wanted to hear kind of from the beginning. I wanted to hear him do something a little bit experimental, not necessarily fall into that kind of cookie cutter box, which it kind of had done beforehand. And whether adding sections like this in and adding stuff that's a little bit different, a little bit unexpected, a little bit out of the blue, that's what makes tunes like these exciting. So I'm very happy he's actually put that in there, because it adds life to the whole tune. You know, one little spicy part of a tune can turn the whole thing up a level, you know.
I'm a dog, stone cold. Yeah, you don't know the thing, you know. Never talk every day, but the vibes never change. I'm a nigga.
Another very good transition from the chorus block. From what I can gather from the chorus block, is kind of talking about like his real friends are his real friends. I might be completely wrong on that, but that's like regardless of what happens, if you're a real friend of mine, you're a real friend of mine. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from the chorus. But yeah, overall the transition on a more sort of compositional structure is nice. Obviously with this channel we like to break down the sort of musical side of things more than sort of lyricism. But yeah, transition again nice, again being very much led by Alkaline, and I definitely think this is a tune that requires someone as versatile as him to kind of bring it to life, and it's solid. I'll say that. It's solid. It's sounding good. Again, it is just a little bit, I know a lot of people aren't going to be happy to hear this, but it does sound a little bit cookie cutter for me. That sort of bouncing synth line in the background's quite cool as well. That's sort of becoming more and more prominent in the mix as it goes forward. I don't know, I just wanted to hear a little bit more. And it almost feels a little bit reliant on the fact that it's very electronic, which a lot of Alkaline stuff is. I don't know, I just feel like Alkaline could have possibly done a little bit more. He's definitely holding the tune together, and it's solid, but it's not exceptional. It would be my kind of breakdown of it, and I definitely feel like more could have been done with this. This does feel like it's almost part of like a rhythm pack or something like that. But it's fine. It's not going to be one of the tunes that I immediately put down in like that sort of top 10 listing for Alkaline. Like, it's not getting into that level of conversation, you know, so. And there we go. By the sounds of it, we are just going to enter into an instrumental phase for the last sort of 20 seconds or so. I'll do a full analysis when the tune finishes off, but I mean, I'm not blown away. It's solid, like there's nothing really wrong with it, but it just doesn't really blow me away, you know. That's, I think, the best way I can describe this tune. A lot of people say we don't ever give negative reviews on this channel. I wouldn't even class this as a negative review. It's just not outstanding, especially when we compare it to the two previous tunes from Alkaline we've already heard in the last couple of weeks. For me, I feel when you're on that sort of run of singles, you need to make sure they are angled so everyone gets better than the last one. In comparison to the last two, this one's a little bit of a dip for me. It's not dreadful by any means, but it's definitely not that sort of instantaneous impact level of the other two tunes. Well, there we go. We can see on the instrumental, even the instrumental itself is quite simple, and I think that might be why the tune itself sounds a little bit cookie cutter, because all we're kind of getting with the instrumental is a sort of back and forward between those string plucks, and then with that, all we're getting on top of it is a bit of a singular sounding like subline with some trappy snares. Like, that for me doesn't really fill the criteria of what I want to hear in the background of an Alkaline tune. But I tell you what, for me, he did the best he could with it, but I don't necessarily think it was the best setup for him to work with personally. So there we go. If you did enjoy this reaction video, please make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, turning notifications on, and of course leaving a like and a comment. We do give slightly negative reactions from time to time, so don't be surprised, it does happen. As well as that, you can also follow me on Instagram at CubKXVU. Same on all platforms as well, so make sure you do get involved. That's it all from me from this morning, guys. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you next time. Peace.